I'm not ready to be just another of your mistakes. I can't seem to drown you out long enough. I fell victim to this.
Hi everyone, my name is Sally and I'm a music leader for the Urban Vocal Group. I'm also a singing and voice teacher and I specialise in contemporary and commercial technique and vocal health. Over the past few weeks I've been bringing you videos on vocal health and how to improve your singing. Today I want to continue down the route of keeping your voice healthy and making sure that you're getting the best out of your voice. And it got me thinking this week because I've had a lot of singers come to me who've been struggling with allergies, and I wanted to tell you today some easy ways to kind of work through your voice when you have got something that's not quite happy going on. So something where you're feeling a little bit gunky, when you've got a cold or when you've got allergies affecting you. Now, what you need to remember is when you do get allergies, whether that's hay fever or whether it's from an animal or anything that you are allergic to, we tend to get a lot of stuffiness in the nose and often swelling in our throat. So we need to make sure that we're kind of attacking this in two ways to make sure that we're looking after our voice. Because when we do have something that's not quite right in our voices, it takes a lot more effort and a lot more strain to get the same sound out, which means that we're likely to hurt ourselves when we try. If you're anything like me, I suffer from hay fever and I suffer from dust mite allergies. So I am the type of person that anything could pretty much set me off sneezing. And sneezing in itself also makes you constrict in the vocal folds. So you go like that and you clamp. So often when people are sneezing, they're also slamming their vocal folds together. I've got allergies today, that's why I wanted to make the video, to try and talk you through what I'm going to do to fix myself up. But what happens is when you cough or when you sneeze, your vocal folds clamp together and suddenly you've got that little bit of shock that goes on there, and that can cause it to swell slightly. And also the irritants of whatever's in the air or whatever's affecting you will kind of get on your vocal folds and cause you some issues. So I'm going to talk you through some ways to help to wake your voice up gently when you are suffering. And like I said, that's whether you've got allergies, whether you've got a cold, or whether today you're just a bit gunky and you can't seem to shift anything. Now, the first thing I'm going to recommend that you do is go and drink lots of water, because if you're a little bit gunky, that gunk can be quite thick and that often kind of hardens around the vocal folds, so the vocal folds can't move properly. And like I said earlier, we have to put more effort in to make that same sound, which means we're likely to strain ourselves. So go and drink plenty of water. When we drink water, it helps to thin out that mucus and it helps to make it easier to move through. If anyone said singing was glamorous, it's not. You know, it's all about gunk and it's all about making sure that you kind of don't, like, work out your voice properly. You know, there's a lot to it. You know, so kind of stick with me, it's gross. So yeah, so basically what we're doing is we're trying to shift all of that stuff without working too hard. So the first thing we can do to make that easier is to go and drink lots of water. Now, if you steam or nebulize, then that would help too. As I've said in previous videos, I don't like to recommend steaming to people too young. It's not that it's not safe for them to do, it's the fact that you are using hot water or you're using steam from an electric steamer, and that can be quite hot, and I would always recommend to do that under adult supervision and make sure that your parents are happy with you doing that, because although it's helpful, there is also a risk with that, and that's not a risk necessarily within your vocal folds, but that is a risk to scalding and burning yourself. So like I said, if you are reading anywhere else about steaming and you don't know how to do it, please be very, very careful, because you can hurt yourself with that. Yeah, so like I said, if you are familiar with steaming and you steam regularly and you've been doing that properly, or if you've been having sessions with me and we have discussed how to do that for you, and I've kind of watched you do it, make sure you're doing it safely, then that's fine. But like I said, if you're new to it, please don't go and rush in and try that without someone there to make sure that they're happy with you trying that, because it may not be safe for you, okay? So that side of it. So that's hydration, that's steam, that's going to help to get some stuff out naturally. Now, what we can do is we can start to make some silly noises, because actually there was a big study done by a really well-respected voice scientist, and he actually found that humming helps to thin out. So when your voice vibrates and it hums, it helps to thin the gunk. So actually that kind of effort of making that sound helps to thin out the gunk and make it easier to move. So the best way we can start to shift that is to start to make a noise. And you may find sometimes, even when you're not suffering from allergies or you've not got a cold, when you start to sing, after a couple of minutes, you might find that you need to keep clearing your throat, you know, just as you start to warm everything up. And that's because you're moving around all the natural gooiness that's in your voice there. Okay, so don't worry about that. Worry about that if you don't have that in the beginning, but you have that about 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes into your singing, because that's a sign your body's trying to repair itself from any kind of upset or uneasiness. So yes, just be very, very careful with that one. So I'm going to start with really, really simple humming exercises, and oh, let's put that on the piano. Don't know what that was, a weird string thing, must have knocked that. Right, okay. So we're going to start with really, really gentle hums, and I'm starting on a B here. This should be fine for guys whose voices are broken, and for women, and for people whose voices hasn't broken yet. So here we're going to start with a sound. Now I want you to listen, and I want you to listen to how steady that sound sounds. Now if you start hearing it, that could be a sign there's a little bit of something on your chords, and we need to work through that. So don't worry about that for a minute. Just keep humming through. Okay, there's a little bit of unstableness there in my voice today. And as you start to rock over that, you'll start to feel that you get more control, because sometimes it's breath flow. We're warming everything up. And I'm trying to place into my nose. I'm trying to get that buzz working to my nose too, because that's going to help to start to move all the bits around in my sinuses. Now if you notice, I'm not working too high or too low in my range. I'm just starting to work around to get that a little bit more comfortable. Now I'm going to move to between two different notes. So we've got Now I started off on seconds. I don't know why I changed to thirds. I do want to stick with seconds. So so just that kind of little moving between that, and I'm making sure I'm not making big jumps. Now it could be on just semitones, you know, kind of working through that. A little bit ominous. Let's work with those. We're going to move up like that. Every now and then I might need to slow that down. If that feels like that's becoming a little bit of an effort, I need to make sure I'm not working too hard. And as you can hear, I'm naturally starting to get a little bit louder because my voice is starting to relax and release. Now there's not hard effort into this, it's just humming. And I'm starting to take some range into it now. Not sure what those notes were there. I don't like semitones, they throw me off. I'm used to thirds and fifths. So then we're going to start to move to that third. So we're going to go. Now if doesn't work for you, if you feel like there's a lot of pressure there, you may be going and putting too much force. You can try things like as in sung, or n as in nanny, na 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 na. All three of those sounds are nasals, and they will help to start to bring that buzz into the head. So remember, that exercise was to start to shift things from your chords. These exercises are starting to move stuff from the nasal cavity, the gross stuff. Now you may find that you need to keep drinking plenty of water for this to help clear things forward. You may need to go blow your nose after these exercises. Singing is nice, singing is attractive. Yeah, sorry about this one. So we're going to start with nyem. So N-M-N-E-M, nyem, nyem. So just practice that sound for me, nyem, and you should feel it moving to your nose. And I want you to get some really good scrunches going on here. Nyem, 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 nyem. So as we move up, we're going to go nyem, 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 nyem. And it's the most beautiful sound you could ever make, and it's got to be so ugly. That's what it's got to be. Nyem, 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 nyem. And then when you start to put it in my nose, you have to do the face. I'm not going to lie, it helps to scrunch everything up and get things moving a bit easier. It's not classy, not gonna lie. Yum, 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 yum. 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 What you'll find is as you move up, you'll start to need to sniff and swallow and all the horrible things, and that is good. That is a sign that the exercise is working. If it doesn't feel like it's moving forward enough into your face, try and make no really annoying sound, and just keep trying to work that into the forward part of your face and into your nose. If you're really congested, or if you've got a cold and you feel like you just can't get things moving, it may take a little bit longer before you actually start to feel that buzz move into the right place, because often it feels like we hit like a brick wall when we've got a cold and we can't get anything moving. So just keep persevering with it. Really gentle sounds. This is in head voice. This is not being forced. I'm going to move to sing, and I'm going to hold on the NG. So I'm going to get off the SI as quick as possible, and I'm going to get straight to the NG. Sing, and I'm going to buzz that into my nose, and I'm going to think up and over, and I'm going to go sing, 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 sing. I'm only doing these in certain parts of our range as well, and these are fine for both male and female singers, but I'm only working within the area of the range that helps to encourage that nasal sound. And I like to kind of put that together with sung. Sung. So the sing gets forward in the nose, and the sung gets back in the nose. Sung, 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 sung. And depending on how gunky you feel, you may need to keep trying those for a few minutes, or you may go, actually no, I'm feeling quite fresh now, and that's what we're looking for. Often people who are singing a head voice, they may need to do these exercises first in order to feel like they can really get a head resonance, because really we're waking up all of this area that we need to buzz into when we're singing. So this is fantastic just to put into your warm-up anyway, even if you're not feeling like you're full of allergies. The last thing I like to kind of work with is, because if you have done all those buzzings, now this is going to get a little bit indelicate, but you will get all the gunk now move downwards into your throat. And if you're feeling like that's now in your throat, this is one of my favourite exercises for that. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to bang on your chest, and you're going to need to make a V shape with your mouth. So we're going to go V as in van, so with a V, V, V. V. So just practice that sound on its own for a minute. We're going to go V. Now these are called fricatives, and these build up really good pressure in the front of your mouth and start to push backwards. And when that pushes backwards, that creates a little bit of pressure over your vocal folds, helps to shake and release that gunk. Then we start banging on our chest underneath, and that puts pressure underneath and helps to bring that vibrations up to help to really, really start to work that a little bit harder. So we're going to go through and we're going to go V, and we're going to go V, and it doesn't matter what notes you're hitting, just keep moving up and down. You will find there's a certain area that feels extra gunky, and that's where you kind of want to run over a few times. Now remember, if your voice is tired or it's feeling dry or it's not feeling great, be very, very careful not to push the range too high. You may just need to do these exercises and leave your voice for the day, you know. Go and drink lots of water. It all depends on how severe your allergies or your cold is on your voice. What you need to remember is if you are bunged up and you are breathing in through your mouth, you are no longer getting the filter that your nose provides. Your nose, when you breathe in through your nose, we have a filter in our nose that helps to moisten the air, and it helps to filter out any of like the pollen or any of the the dust in the air, anything nasty that's in the air. And that means that what we breathe in across our vocal folds is clean, and it's not so dry. When we have a cold or when we've got a bunged up nose or we've got allergies, what happens is all of that air just goes in through our mouth, and it means that we're just getting that really kind of unfiltered, cold, horrible air straight onto our vocal folds. So just bear that in mind, that if you are snuffly and you are struggling, that's when you need to go and make sure you're drinking plenty of water again to make sure that you're not getting dried out. So that's my exercises. I'm just going to show you through that one a little bit more time, one more time, because it's really, really good. So remember, we're banging on our chest, we're in here, and we're just revving. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't really show you that one properly. What you then may find is you need to go and clear your throat. and I would really recommend against you going, you know, like trying to, you know, that trying to clear it out that way. So yeah, so those are my really safe, gentle warm-ups for when your voice is feeling a bit rubbish, when it's gunky, and when you have allergies or you have a cold. So please be careful with your own bodies though, and remember that if that range that I went through today was too much or too fast, you need to listen to yourself. If it's causing you more issues, listen to the exercises and then just do them in your own way, at your own speed, on your own notes, okay? And that's what's really important about when you are looking at like vocal health or vocal maintenance. It's not about following along with me completely to my range, because my range right now is based on my voice being pretty healthy. If it was based on my voice when I had a cold or something, or my voice was really suffering, I might be down here going, and that may be coming out. So what you need to remember is that your voice will behave differently on different days. So make sure that you are thinking about what your voice needs today, because I'm telling you that will be completely different to what it needs tomorrow and the next day and the next day after that. So please keep an eye on that, and please make sure that you are listening to yourself. Yeah, make sure you drink plenty of water. Also, you may even want to try the bottom straw exercises, as that really helps me too. So there's a video on that further down the page. Don't forget, as always, we are here to support you at UVG. So if you're a UVG member and you need any help with anything to do with your voice, or you're worried about anything in your voice, please don't hesitate to get in contact. And if you have any videos that you'd like to share of your singing while you've been singing in lockdown and while you've been singing in your time away from us at UVG, we'd love to see them. And I think we're actually having the uploads on those on a Friday, so please don't hesitate to get those in, because we love to see them. So I hope you're all enjoying the nice hot weather and it's not affecting people's allergies too much, but hopefully you can try those exercises and that'll help to keep you singing. I will see you next week for more vocal health and singing tips. See you soon.